name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody who is hanging out with a person who is in a relationship and having a conversation with them about wanting to be in a relationship themselves. So I know that I'm currently your side piece, but I would like to get upgraded. This is saying, I know that initially it was really probably just about the physical attraction, but now I feel like there's emotional elements as well. So I don't know if they've already ended the relationship that was making this difficult to begin with, but it feels to me like we've got someone who's trying to make it about more than just the physical intimacy. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. And I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Excuse me. Hello, Brooklyn. Hello, Dana. Hello, Brad. How are we doing? Let's dive in with the Tattoo Tarot. And what do we have? Sorry, guys. What do we have? Page of Cups in the reverse. Three of Cups in the reverse. I'm not surprised to see that. And the High Priestess in the reverse. Okay, so I don't know if this is because we have someone who's feeling guilty. Like, maybe I just thought I could ignore how it would make me feel to be the other person, but the more I think about it, the more I feel like you should probably just break up with that person and just be with me. Maybe it's I want you to be mine. Maybe it's I don't want to be sneaking around. Maybe it's I'm falling in love, but there's a desire for it to be a focus on two instead of having this other person. But the problem is the person who's requesting that is the person who is the side piece. So the person who's in the relationship seems to be a little hesitant. There is something that, like, lifestyle wise is better for them because of the relationship that they're in. I don't want to have to sell the house, or I don't want to have to, find a different job. I work for my spouse's parent. There's something strange here where, or maybe it's not so strange, but there's definitely some integration life wise that they don't really want to sacrifice, or they're nervous to give up. So it's like, I have too much to lose. The cost is too high to end that relationship. But they keep this secret. They don't want to be fully honest with the person that they are seeing on the side about the actual state of things, probably regarding their finances or regarding their ability to be self-sufficient, or in what ways are they dependent upon that person that they're in a relationship with. Or even how do they feel? This could be someone who genuinely is still in love with their partner, but claims that they are not. Nine of Cups in the reverse. Three of Swords and the Five of Swords in the reverse. Well, so the kind of brutal but honest response to the side piece asking to be in an actual relationship with this person is like, no, I don't, that's not what I want. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to leave that person anytime soon. Like, take it or leave it. Do you want this or not? I don't think they're very nice about it. Queen of Cups, Seven of Wands, the Chariot, and the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. If anything, they might be willing to say, you know, we'll try a separation. We'll have a conversation, but I'm not making any promises. But I feel like they're secretly more interested in protecting the existing relationship than they're willing to tell this third party. They feel like they have to keep something in place in order to get what they want in life. I don't know how I would get the connections that I need for my business to be successful, or I don't know how I would be able to travel as much, or I don't think I would be able to, whatever they get from the relationship, right? I can't do that without this person I'm in a relationship with, therefore I can't choose you over them. This is the situations deck. What else do we have? Hello, Patricia. Hello, Ruben. Hello, Joshua. How we doing? Thank you, Hip8267. How you doing? We have sold, moving, physical location change. So this could be about the cost of having your own place. If I were to be responsible for every expense on my own, I could probably not handle that. So therefore, I have to stay in this relationship with somebody that I don't really like because they make it easier for me financially. Hello, Constantine. How are you doing? Hey, Joshua, are you going to leave any of your comments posted, or are you going to retract them all? Just curious. We have love affair and pop-up. So the affair partner shows up and is making this argument for, you know, I feel like you love me too. Why don't we just be together? You know, like your husband, your wife, whatever it is. So let's just run away together. Why not? What's stopping you? Well, they try to make it about something personal or emotional because they don't want to talk. The moon talks about secretive energy, right? They don't want to tell the real reason. So they let this third party, their boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is, believe that their wish and what they're working towards is, I want to get out of that relationship so I can be in a relationship with you, but they're not being honest about their intentions. They're, at the very least, they're slow walking that change. But for most of you, I feel like this is somebody who's like, I don't think I can really do that. I don't think I'm going to do that. To you as well, little Lena. I hope you're having a good day. Hello, Hattie. How are you doing? Did I say hello to Constantine? I think I did. So we've got crushed, sad, broken, feeling alone, desire, and drastic. Oh, okay. So this affair partner says, I don't know why you're still in that marriage to begin with, or I don't know why you're still living with that person anyways. It's pretty obvious to me that you love me or that I love you, and we should be together instead. So when are you going to end that relationship and choose me? But because they put pressure on this person who really does not have any plans of ending that relationship, now all of a sudden they're on the chopping block. Now it's like, well, maybe I just need to replace the side piece instead of replacing the spouse. Dun dun dun. No. This is the tarot of the cat people. Hello, Jason. How are you doing? What else do we have? Queen of Cups in the reverse. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. and the Hermit. So you want me to end a relationship with someone because you believe that I don't love that person anymore, but the truth is there's more love in the existing relationship than with the affair partner, at least for the person who's involved with both of those people, right? They're not interested in emotional connection at the cost of their lifestyle. If this side piece was independently wealthy, then this person would be like, sure, where do you want to go? Where do you want to live? Let's do it. You've got all your money, right? So you can pay for everything? Let's do it. But they can't because they feel like they have to pay for more in that situation. Two of Pentacles and Five of Wands in the reverse. So it's like, I mean, you're hot and everything, and I enjoy spending time with you, and I like flirting with you. But if I have to contemplate swapping out my current spouse for you, it's not like you don't measure up because you don't pay the bills. You don't pay for vacations. You don't have the airline miles. Whatever it is, it's like, no. Because then I'd have to, like, you know, not get as much Dr. Pepper. I couldn't afford the steak and lobster. Hello, Christian. I'm going to leave that one up, but I'm just going to remind you that I do block people in the live chat if there's intolerance towards other people's beliefs. So just be respectful of other people, please. Hello, Redbeard. How you doing? Of course, first class. I have heard that, Constantine. I'm trying to think. There was some like infographic or meme that I've seen recently, and I feel like it was talking about how different Nordic countries, like the word translated for like your significant other, what that translates to. And I think it was basically like it was, here's what the Danes call it, here's what the Norwegians call it. And then you get to the Dutch and their like significant other or like boo is loosely translated to the one that irritates me the least or something like that, and I about fell off my chair. It sounds like a place that I would fit in. That's funny. Hey, Christian, if you would like to come back tomorrow and communicate with people in ways that are not just quoting the Bible, I would love for you to be a part of the community. There's an excellent collective here of people who are interested in improving their community, working on their personal growth, and that's great. But if you just want to be reciting Bible, I think there's probably a better place for that. Hello, Matt. How you doing? All right, so we have the Five of Swords and the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, I can't leave my current partner because then I would have to like get a better job, or then I would have to give up my fancy shoe collection. I don't have the money to just break up with this person or get a divorce. So take it or leave it. Do you want to be my side piece or do you want to be nothing? I don't feel like they're putting a lot of flourishes on their conversation here. I think it's just kind of like, I told you what the terms were at the beginning and now you want to change them. That's not my fault. That's you wanting something different than what I offered. You know, don't go into Five Guys and ask for a salad. I mean, you probably could. Maybe they've got some lettuce there, but like that's where you, I mean, okay, make your choices, I guess. This is someone who's like, no, I've got a good setup. I like the swimming pool in the backyard and the fenced in backyard, you know, for my dogs and whatnot. This is someone who doesn't want to change their life. Even if they're happier with the person that is their affair partner, they're not interested in changing anything with regards to money. I don't want to pay more. I don't want to have less. So they feel like they could replace the side piece more easily. Hello, JKM. How are you doing? We've got rejuvenation in the reverse and the empress. So the empress is the spouse, the one that's not cheating. At least not from what I can tell. Yesterday we had a really complicated one, so we don't know that for sure. But the empress is the one who has the money. Does not mean that this has to be a woman. This could be a man just as easily. But it is the person who is successful and has some sort of strong earning potential. And this is someone who has an important like decision or event, or maybe it's even a promotion that's coming up for them. There's something that's happening in their work life that it's like they're leveling up, you know? Maybe it's, I can't divorce my spouse because they just got promoted and they're going to be earning like 500,000 more a year. Like, why would I leave that? Now I'm going to be like having a lush life. Okay, well, like maybe treat the person right then. They're like, I'm super excited because somebody else is making all this money and I get to be like around when they spend it, or I get to spend it for them. Hello, James. How are you doing? All right, let's see what else we've got. We're going to get a few from, we'll go with the gold and the Normand. What else? The tree, number 5, and the bouquet, number 9. Mental strength. That's interesting. So it's like we've got somebody who's able to exhibit self-control within certain parameters, but when they need to exhibit self-control when they're around someone that they find very attractive, all of a sudden it's like, whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, where did he go? Oh, I don't have any temptation. Oh, come hither. Yes, please. Sign me up. So I think we have our side piece being a little bit irritated, saying, oh, okay, so you know how to get what you want out of a situation and then leave as soon as there's something that's like asked of you. I feel like things get a little petty or get a little bit angry between these two when the initial conversation starts off as, you know, like I'm falling in love, or I feel like we could be really happy together. You just need to not be in that relationship. Hello, Maxine. How are you doing? Hello, Whitmer. Hello, Mary. I bet you're right, Mary. This is someone who needs to have a little bit more self-control in other areas. And so when they get called out by their affair partner, I do feel like things escalate pretty quickly. And that's why we have this drastic cutoff, right? So they meet up, they have a conversation, maybe it gets hot and steamy. And then the affair partner is like, hey, so we've been having a lot of fun. Maybe we could get like married next, you know? No big deal. Yeah, just like, you know, elevate it a little bit. but then it devolves into a serious argument. There might even be like somebody who, you know, hurriedly grabs all their stuff, slams the door, lose my number. I can't believe I fell for someone like you, blah, blah, blah. Because I don't feel like there's a lot of mature communication skills between these two individuals. I feel like a lot of it is very reactionary and kind of self-absorbed, right? I'm just thinking about how things impact me and I'm struggling to understand your perspective because why would that be as important? I just think about how I feel. Hello, Redneck Ghost Hunter. How you doing? I hope you're having a good Friday, Maxine. Redbeard says arguments are cool because you get to make up after. Most of the time. 60% of the time, it works all the time. Number 16, the stars. By asking for a more serious relationship, the affair partner has put this, what are we calling you again? I think this is the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So the Queen of Wands in the reverse is married to the Empress. Remember, neither of these even have to be a woman. But this is talking about their energy. We have somebody here who's a big money maker, the Empress. They're in a relationship, and the Queen of Wands in the reverse is benefiting at least financially or like lifestyle-wise, right? Like, yeah, at least I don't have to pay rent or a mortgage anymore. Whatever it is, they're like living it up. But they're being asked to be serious in a relationship by the Queen of Cups in the reverse. And I feel like the Queen of Cups in the reverse is the Queen of Cups in the reverse because they are not beloved. This is not someone that has the emotional connection that they think they have with the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So it's a little bit of a fantasy or an illusion. And it could also just kind of like violently shove this Queen of Wands in the reverse right back into their spouse's arms because they don't want to risk losing the financial benefits that they currently have. This is the Santa Muerte. Hello, Song of the Moon. How are you doing? Happy Friday. What else do we have? The Chariot in the reverse. The Five of Swords in the reverse. And the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So by asking for a serious relationship, now the affair partner is probably getting blocked. Like, lose my number. I can't talk to you anymore. Clearly you have unrealistic expectations. I told you from the beginning that this would never be something serious. And clearly that didn't mean anything to you. So I feel like there's anger. It's like, as quick as I can, I want to be like on the opposite side of the city from you. I don't want to be looking at you. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to like think about it. There's mad, like, how dare you type energy coming from both people. What else? Five of Pentacles. Walking away from each other. Three of Pentacles. Thinking about what relationships or connections actually need to be invested in or cultivated. And King of Cups. Someone who feels like what they need to do is make sure that they turn up the charm or do what they can to be a good spouse after blocking or having this argument with their affair partner. Let's make sure everything is fine with this relationship, and then I'll find some other side piece. Whatever, no big deal. Ace of Swords and the World in the reverse. But So the Queen of Wands in the reverse, by the way, also came out as the King of Swords. This is why we don't pay too close attention to the gender of the card, right? This is somebody who is feeling like because I said it's over, then it's over. That's how it is. Maybe they're used to getting their way. It's not going to work so well with the Queen of Cups in the reverse. This is somebody who does like to be emotionally manipulative. So they're looking at this and they're like, okay, so you want to block me? You want to just like forget that you ever knew me? I'm not that easy to just ignore. So we have somebody who is crafting a plan to do something to unsettle or mess with the King of Swords, Queen of Wands in reverse, the person that they were previously having an affair with. Yeah, a little bit wild, doesn't it, James? We've got the Ten of Wands in the reverse, the Three of Wands in the reverse, and Judgment. Okay, well, you don't want to talk to me. You blocked me on all of the platforms and you chose your spouse over me, but I'm madly in love with you, so I'm going to lash out. The Queen of Cups in the reverse is like, I'll show you. I'm going to tell people what you're doing, or I'm going to contact your family. I'm going to let your spouse know, or I'm going to send this picture of the two of us to the local newspaper. This is someone who's like very much so fixated on the idea of revenge or being petty after being rejected because they wanted a serious relationship. It's not just like they came up with one idea, like, oh, I'll send a postcard and tell your spouse you're cheating. Mischief managed. No, it's like, I'm going to come up with 8 different ideas and they're all going to suck for you. They're all going to make you hate what you did to me and I'm going to enjoy it. Oh my goodness, this person, it's like the full-time job for them right now is, how do I make you regret what you did? I don't care if I have to like pay someone to do a spell. I don't care if I have to like break in and steal something from your place. I'll do that too. This is excessive. Ten of Pentacles and the reverse and the King of Wands. I don't even really think about things like breaking into someone's place, but that's just seemingly more confirmed with this pair. 10 of Pentacles would be like the domicile, right? That and the 10 of Cups, I suppose. But this feels to me like we've got somebody who's saying, I know you don't want to see me, but I'm going to show up where I know you're going to be hanging out with your family, or I'm going to show up to your church on Sunday, or I'm going to hang out in the lobby of the law firm where you work. They're like, I'm going to be obnoxious. It's going to be so much fun for me to make you sweat or make you nervous, make you question, like, what have I been telling other people? This person's not very, they're not very grounded. We'll put it that way. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit crazy. All right, what else do we have? This is the Burning Heart Love Oracle. I'm telling you, they are literally driving over to this person's house like, I know you're over there with your spouse. I don't care. Let them get mad. I'm going to show up. I'm going to make everything difficult. I realize all the mistakes I've made. I feel like this is from the King of Swords, Queen of Wands in the reverse, the person who cheated. They have difficulty with regards to being in a commitment or a committed relationship. I think it's because they actually have insecurity, but they probably are seen as a rather arrogant individual. You're worth more to me than I let on. So this Queen of Wands in the reverse, King of Swords, the person who's in the marriage or the long-term relationship is realizing that they have deeper feelings for the person that they're in the relationship with than they wanted to admit when they were seeking out an affair partner. And the fact that they could potentially lose this relationship is really making them anxious and more likely to make mistakes or lash out. But the affair partner is losing their mind, feeling like it's unfair that they have not been chosen. They had previously been very confident that they could convince the King of Swords, Queen of Wands in the reverse, to leave their relationship and choose the side piece instead. Oh, I believe in you, James, but that is really rude. I would never take another person's marathon medal. Like, just look at me. You can tell I'm not a marathon runner. I like my toenails. I want to hold you. I just feel like we have an affair partner that may have gotten a bit obsessive. Are they in love? Probably. Could be. Or they might just be super codependent or obsessive. I should have fought for you. And I've been manifesting you. I do think there's someone here who's trying to use magic. Could be paying for it even. I do think there is some overthinking or overanalyzing, like, why did I respond in that way? Or I should have said it this way. Or I should have, you know, met with you that one time. How could I have changed the outcome here? Because there is a tendency to be obsessive from this Queen of Cups in the reverse. What else? I want to kiss you, and you deserve better than them. Yeah, I mean, basically, this is like Swim Fan. Or I think the movie with Beyonce was called Obsessed. Is that right? But we've got someone who feels like they should be able to take the place of the spouse that the Queen of Wands in the reverse chose over them. They don't get it. It's confusing. Like, I know you were happy with me. I saw it on your face. So how is it that you're still choosing that person? It's because they don't realize how financially dependent that relationship is, right? They're over here thinking, I'm not intelligent enough. I'm not attractive enough. Maybe my car isn't nice enough. Well, it could be part of it. But they're not necessarily hitting on the fact that it's the, hey, if you had $1 million, this person would probably like you better. We have number 19, coffin. Marriage, number 3, and despair, 32. I think this is someone who may have tried to refocus on their marriage too late. In other words, they cut off this affair partner. They say, no, I can't leave my partner. I'm going to have to like block you because apparently you have unrealistic expectations. And they do actually end up putting at risk that long-term relationship. So we could have somebody who ends up getting a divorce and not being with either of the two people they had been dating at the start of the year or at the start of, you know, the last season. Official person in the reverse, imprisonment, and journey in the reverse. I think they block the affair partner for the wrong reasons. It's not, I don't want to be unfaithful. This person deserves me to be, you know, loyal or honest to them. It's, you're asking too much of me. I could probably find a different side piece anyway. So I'm going to have to like walk away. And the universe is like, what? We don't like that. You were supposed to learn a lesson here. Doesn't seem like you did. So they're losing both relationships. Main female, house, unexpected income in the reverse. So now we have this Queen of Wands in the reverse, realizing I don't have a free ride anymore. I don't have someone paying all of my bills. The relationship that was like funding my lifestyle is no longer in the picture. So they end up losing both things. That seems pretty rough. Oops, that's the wrong one. Let's see what else we've got from the Cook's Tarot. I would argue that it's more than kids. Hello, Hope. How are you doing? It is indeed. King of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, I think this is someone who ends up having to find a new living situation, and they have lost out on the person that was paying their bills, the partnership that was funding their lifestyle. So now we have somebody who is trying to flirt and find a new partner, but specifically what they're looking for is someone who has money. Six of Cups. And the King of Cups in the reverse. The problem is they had it really good in that first relationship. They fumbled it, and now they're realizing just how great that was, even more so. It's like every couple of weeks, this person gets a little bit of an additional reminder on how they should have done better, how they should have treated their partner better. And the King of Cups is in the reverse because they're starting to have some emotional response to the changes happening in their life or the loss of this relationship. Ten of Cups in the reverse, feeling like they don't know where they belong or that they've lost something that was more important than they realized, a sense of belonging. We have the World. They're trying to figure out where to go from here. But with the King of Wands being in the reverse, they're aimless. They don't have a sense of direction. It's like, well, I feel like I belong there with the person that was my partner, but now I'm not welcome there. So what am I supposed to do instead? I don't feel like they're very decisive right now. With the Eight of Swords, it's like, I don't know what's going to happen in a couple of weeks. I don't know what's going to happen in a couple of months. I don't know what I can afford as far as like a monthly rent or mortgage. So they're trying to figure out a whole bunch of stuff right at the same time. And it's all because they were, you know, willing to step out of their relationship instead of try to do right by that empress. All right, let's get a few from, we'll do the signs of the times. Hello, Deborah. How are you doing today? What else do we have? P.S. I'm contemplating doing a late night reading. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. Comment below if you want me to. Late night, you guys, I'm kind of lame. I don't stay up as late as I used to. But late night, I'm thinking like 10 p.m. Central, maybe 11. But if that's something you want me to do today or tomorrow, comment. So we have unlimited potential, infinity, 43. This is, I think, our Empress, the person who is in the relationship with the Queen of Wands in the reverse, but realized that they were dealing with somebody who was unfaithful or dishonest. This is someone who is, yeah, I feel like this is someone who's getting an inheritance, to be honest, because we did see the Judgment card with, you know, some skeleton homies. But we also did have the Coffin card. I feel like we have someone who is inheriting a decent amount from a family member. and it enables them to expand their business or pursue a different degree or publish a book or go on an incredible trip through Africa. There's something here where it's like all of a sudden now the Empress is like, I've got even more like freedom to do what I want, and the abundance required to, you know, fund what I need is all there. And I don't have to keep sharing it with somebody who is, you know, a two-timer. Yes, because there's the alignment happening tomorrow. I think they said around sunset. What else do we have? Ooh, Lord. I just threw them everywhere. One of these times, no, I'm not even going to say that. All right, we have succulence, which is resilience, number 38. Rainbow, hope. And fence, boundaries. Things are getting better for the Empress because they no longer have to share in that abundance with a person who is in turn hanging out with another person or thinking about building a life with someone new. There is this ability to move somewhere else or pursue goals or hobbies or friendships that may have been a little bit off limits before because of their relationship. So everything's like coming up daisies for this Empress after a divorce or a breakup, after they are ending things with a disingenuous or unfaithful partner. But it can't necessarily be said for the Queen of Wands in the reverse that things are getting better because they ended up losing both of the relationships that they had in place. You're welcome. That's kind of a weird question, don't you think? Especially when we look at your username. Hello, Seven. How's it going? Let's see. What do we want? I think we need the salacious messages of the Overthinker's Oracle. Let's see what else we can get as far as the tea. What else? Lemonade. Just 2 minutes. Oh, Lord. We've got hiding my emotions and feelings for you. I have to feel like this is the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the person who is cheating. Because they may have actually wanted or had some sort of emotional connection with their affair partner, but because they were so insistent on having the material benefit of their relationship, they didn't want to admit having those emotions. But even so, they turned around and blocked this person and didn't want to hear from them. So I think it was self-preservation or even a little bit of selfishness, right? You deserve so much more. It's not over, you belong to me. I think that the Queen of Cups in the reverse, who is the affair partner, feel like this person is still determined to find a way to be in a relationship with the Queen of Wands in the reverse. But the Queen of Wands in the reverse is still thinking that they can find some way back to that old lifestyle that they had. I'm desperate for another chance. So we have two people chasing someone else. We have practice forgiveness and unrequited love. So yeah, it's not a perfect situation. There's definitely been some heartbreak and some betrayal, but I feel like part of what is enabling the Empress to start a really healthy and happy new chapter is the Empress is not afraid to forgive and let go. No need to let this ex live rent-free in their brain, right? They're like, Ish happens. I guess I'll go shopping. It puts the lotion on its skin. Hello, Brad. How are you doing? Hello, Crazy Fox Lover. What's up? I'm gonna send 5 minutes minimum. Well, it is Friday, you know, maybe that's part of it, Lemonade. Plotting and scheming a way to get you to love me again. And twin flame. For some of you, this more serious relationship, the Queen of Wands in the reverse with the Empress, is a twin flame dynamic where one person, the Empress, had been doing what they needed to in terms of that healing work, and that's why they were starting to see a lot of that like good karma coming in for them. But they were dealing with a partner that had stalled out on the healing that needed to get done. This is why they were not comfortable being fully vulnerable or giving the relationship their all. But they keep thinking about how perfect that relationship was. Why did I mess that up? I was so happy. I had everything that I wanted, and then I had to go and get greedy. I feel like a fool for making the decisions that they made. I never meant to hurt you. I was so immature. I regret playing games with your heart. Oh no, it's my least favorite one. Someone might need to get tested. And we have somebody who took a risk and I think has now gotten to the point where they regret it because they feel like they have to love you from a distance. They feel like they're not going to get a second chance or that they really have messed things up. That's assuming you align with the Empress energy. But this could also be saying that we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the one who was cheating. The affair partner may be thinking, I will love you till the end of time, and yet here you are, like, not anywhere to be found, or you blocked me, or you don't want to talk to me at all. Hello, Old Angry. How are we doing today? What should we get? Should we do it? Yeah, this is the Romance Angel Oracle. Entirely possible. What else do we have? Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. Soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. See, I feel like the Queen of Wands in the reverse is the ex that needs to be released. But some of you would be like, well, then why am I being told it's my soulmate? Because we already had the twin flame card come out. Being a soulmate with someone or having a soulmate, it's not like this is the one person ever that could make you happy and everybody else is just like not nearly as cool. No, you have soulmates that are platonic, meaning it's your friendship, right? You inspire each other and help each other be your best selves, you know, or maybe you're a bad influence, but whatever, you're soulmates. Or it could be a more romantic type. Soulmates aren't perfect. Soulmates can still mess up. Twin flames can fail their journey. This is someone who had the potential to be in a very happy relationship with the Empress and messed it up. Yes, it's a soulmate connection, but you have to do right by it if you want to keep that connection. Instead, we have an Empress who's realizing, I deserve better. You couldn't be faithful. You couldn't be honest. Therefore, I have to walk away from this because that's not the treatment that I deserve. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. And playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So are you going to meet someone new? That's what I want to know. This could be the one. I know they're not trying to tell you that this twin flame is going to work on themselves and come back around and everything's going to be great, because that seems to be a little bit crazy. Tell me more about this could be the one. If we see the Fool, that would be one of those cards that really indicates like a new person. Eight of Cups in the reverse, King of Wands in the reverse, Page of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Emperor. So the Emperor is our Empress energy, by the way. I feel like in order to meet the person that you are supposed to be with, you have to be able to decline to let somebody come back around who's been unfaithful, King of Wands in the reverse. If you continue to invest in this, then you miss out on the person that is supposed to be, you know, on your level. Some people are getting stuck in this relationship with the Queen of Wands in the reverse, King of Wands in the reverse, the person who cheats. Because they feel like if they are patient enough, then they'll get what they want with this person. But the only way that the Queen of Wands in the reverse makes any kind of substantive changes is if they feel like they've actually lost the Empress. I guess that implies for some of you there could be another chapter with this person. But I feel like for the majority of you, this is someone who's learning too little too late that they should have been doing right by this Empress if they didn't want to lose that relationship. Because now the Empress is also flexing this Emperor energy, realizing that they can release this ex and start a new chapter and meet somebody new, or just like focus on themselves for a little while. Hey Wendy, please don't share your date of birth information or any private information. Hello Mohammed, how are you doing? Hello Key Controller. It is pretty late into the reading, isn't it? I kind of like doing a longer general every now and then. So we've got the Five of Cups in the reverse. King of Pentacles. King of Cups in the reverse. Four of Cups in the reverse, Eight of Swords. So basically it feels to me like when you are able to let go of the twin flame who didn't do their healing, you choose yourself, you become, like you've got the Empress and the Emperor energy, which is pretty amazing. That's an accomplishment. Give yourself a high five or, you know, like a Snickers or something. That makes you able to make a choice without regretting. To pursue something with this King of Pentacles does not need to be a man. But this King of Pentacles is somebody who's capable of that stable connection, that loyal energy. Four of Cups is in the reverse because this is not somebody that you're going to feel like you need to reject. This is somebody who's got trustworthy energy, and that emotionally stunted person from your past that you may or may not have been married to or living with. They're going to have to learn that their emotional connection to you was much more important than they gave it credit for, and see if they can maybe work on making up for that negative karma that they got. Yep, it's true. Hello, Starboy. How are you doing? All right, I'm going to leave it there because it's nice outside and I might go for a walk. But thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for hyping the video if you're able to. And